It's Monday, July 20th. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobeil. Thank you very much for joining us.
We'd like to let you know that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
After a beautiful weekend weather-wise, we are outside once again, as you can see, right in front of Town Hall, where it was rather busy last week. Thursday night's Town Council meeting lasted nearly 4 hours. Now, Friday, we addressed some of the meeting headlines. First, a multi-million-dollar Stewart's Creek sewering project turned down at a Town Council meeting last month has been brought back and will be revisited. Additionally, $150,000 was appropriated to pay for continuing work on the Walkway to the Sea project heading on down to Asselton Park. Also, the Town Council member Leah Curtis participated in her final meeting. She addressed her colleagues and constituents and was honored by the Council.
Today, we'll look at some of the other issues discussed. On the agenda, approval of the District of Critical Planning Concern involving Centerville in the Craigville area. The issue came up at the start of the meeting during public comment.
My name is Steve Brown. I'm a year-round resident of the village of Centerville. My wife and I live on Lake Elizabeth Drive in Craigville. I serve as the president of the Red Lily Pond Project Association, which has worked closely with the town of Barnstable since 1972 to preserve and protect the Red Lily Pond watershed system, which includes Red Lily Pond, Lake Elizabeth, the Herring Run to the Centerville River, the river and the marsh that adjoin Craigville Village and Craigville Beach. Our board of directors has voted unanimously to recommend support of the districts of critical planning concern. We have hosted 2 informational meetings in the Craigville Conference Center, one last summer and one this summer. Joanne Buntich from Growth Management and Dale Sod from Public Works have done a wonderful job explaining to our community all the issues that both the Centerville and the Craigville Beach DCPC will address.
A few hours later, the DCPC documents that Mr. Brown was alluding to were brought before the board. Joanne Buntich from the Town Growth Management Department told the Council the Planning Board last week voted to recommend the passage of those documents. Sitting beside her and speaking out were 2 attorneys representing various civic and business organizations in Centerville who had worked with Growth Management to create those documents.
For the record, Liza Cox from the firm of Nutter, McLennan and Fish on behalf of the Centerville Library. We very much appreciated being able to serve on this advisory group on behalf of the library and can attest to you that there's been a lot of time and effort gone into the drafting of these regulations. The comments of the library have been incorporated into the draft, and the library supports your adoption of these regulations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilor Boudreau.
Thank you. And I want to thank you all for hearing us tonight. I want to thank Ruth, and I want to thank Joanne for putting up with me for the last year and a half and my many rants. We're close to supporting this at this point, and incidentally, I represent Four Seas Ice Cream, the owners of Four Seas Ice Cream, and the Centerville Motor Lodge. But we do have some issues with it, frankly. There is an amendment that's been printed that has not been moved yet that would be sponsored by Four Seas, or would be requested by Four Seas, and I believe Joanne has that. And that deals with an amendment to the architectural provisions, which would allow walk-in freezers, coolers, and so on to have metal sides and flat roofs, because that's how they're made, as long as they're appropriately screened from the street. So it seems to make some common sense that that should go in there. From a substantive perspective as well, we do take great issue with the formula restrictions in here, the restrictions against formula businesses. We think that they could be deleted very easily and that the architectural provisions cover that, because there's no corporate branding allowed within the architectural provisions. You can't have the stripes and corporate colors and so on and so forth in there already. And we would ask that you consider that amendment. From a substantive perspective, that's about it. We've worked long and hard on this. This holds some advantages to us as a DCPC. It holds some disadvantages to us. I would be remiss if I didn't comment at this point on the process itself, though. And I would caution the council, with all due respect in the future, and I know you don't make the recommendations, the nominations, but to look at this town in the future and say, let's not make DCPC nominations lightly. A DCPC is a big deal, to put it in the vernacular. It's not like a zoning change. everything has to be rewritten. All grandfathering disappears with the DCPC, so you have to write your grandfathering in, essentially as allowed uses, if that's the way you want to do it, and that's the way we've done it here.
The question on those specific freezers was passed. Eventually, after much discussion, the issues came to a vote.
Kennedy. Is this on the moving of the question? Or
This is on
no,
2009-137 on the item.
I vote yes. Council Kennedy, you voted. Okay. Frederick Chirigotis.
Yes.
James Crocker. Yes. Leah Curtis.
Yes.
Henry Farnham.
Yes.
Janet Jochum.
Yes.
Gregory Milne.
Yes.
James Munifo.
Yes.
Thomas Rugo.
Yes.
James Tinsley.
Yes.
Harold Toby.
Yes.
Richard Barry.
Yes.
Janice Barton.
Yes.
That is unanimous.
Now, the measure was broken into two specific parts. After passage of the second measure, Town Council President Fred Chirigotis offered a few words to the staff and volunteers who had worked on the plan.
Passes 9-4. I really want to thank you all for your, great efforts over at least 18 months. Enormous numbers of hours.
Thank you very much.
Also addressed a proposal to increase the Board of Health by one alternate member. Leah Curtis explained why.
This issue has come before the Appointments Committee, and certainly I believe all members of the Appointments Committee would support this, because in fact it has been a reality for the Board of Health, and in particular at this time when there are so many issues before the board, we felt it really came kind of to the top in terms of issues that we felt that needed to be addressed. So I would ask my colleagues' support for this.
Councilor Kennedy?
For the sake of the public, for clarification, all this is doing is adding another member who is an alternate member who only votes in the absence of regular members. Otherwise, there's been no change to the West.
Finally, the council voted to accept a $24,000 grant from the Department of Homeland Security. Town Manager John Klim explained the measure.
The town of Barnstable has applied for and been awarded a port security grant in the amount of $24,643 for the purchase of a camera system for Hyannis Harbor. The cameras will be strategically positioned to monitor the Hyannis entrance channel, the inner Lewis Bay channel, and inner Hyannis Harbor. This is part of FEMA's Infrastructure Protection Activities Grant Program. It's designed to strengthen the nation's ability to protect critical infrastructure facilities and systems.
The council voted to accept those grants.
Now here's a listing of the upcoming meetings going on across the town of Barnstable this week.
On Monday, July 20th, the Community Preservation Committee has a meeting at 5 o'clock in the Town Hall hearing room.
Also on Monday at 7 o'clock, the Comprehensive Financial Advisory Committee meets.
On Tuesday, July 21st, the Barnstable Housing Committee meets at 8 a.m. in the Selectmen's Conference Room.
A joint meeting of the Water Pollution Control and Public Works Commission at 3:30 in the DPW Conference Room.
Also on Tuesday, Barnstable Historical Commission meets at 4 p.m. in the Selectmen's Conference Room.
Airport's Terminal Ad Hoc meeting scheduled for 4 o'clock.
Then following that, the Airport Commission will have a full meeting at the airport starting at 6 p.m.
A Conservation Commission hearing at 6:30 in the Town Hall hearing room.
On Wednesday, July 22nd, Accessory Affordable Apartment Program ZBA public hearing is at 6 o'clock in the Town Hall hearing room.
And the ZBA hearing is going to take place after that, the Town Hall hearing room at 7 o'clock.
On Thursday, July 23rd, formal site plan review meets at 9 a.m. in the Town Hall hearing room.
For Kevin Friel, I'm Andrew Gobio. Thank you very much for joining us.